Hello and welcome to the Silver Screen Show, where we talk everything about movies, film and cinema. In tonight's episode we have our usual guest with us, Haidar, joining us again from the last episode. And tonight's episode we will be discussing two very recent films. They've just come out yesterday in the UK market. One, the Lego Ninjago movie. It's a pretty mouthful.
It is.
And secondly, The Snowman. So without any further ado, let's get started. Haidar, shall we do The Snowman first, because given it's not the best film that we have in today's roster.
Yeah, sure.
And then we save the best for the last.
Sure, let's do that.
So you've seen the film. This film is directed by Thomas Alfredson, a veteran in the Swedish industry. He's done Let the Right One In. I don't know if you've seen that film.
No.
That's a pretty good horror film. And so Thomas has done horror films before, so I was expecting quite a bit from this film.
Okay.
And we obviously know it's got Michael Fassbender and Rebecca Ferguson, both of them really good performers when it comes to acting. So there was a lot of expectations going into this film.
There was.
The film, I'll give a short synopsis. It is about a detective, almost an alcoholic detective, trying to solve murder cases that link back to the past relating a serial killer.
Yes.
And he's enlisted the help of Rebecca Ferguson to solve the murder mystery. So this is a horror mystery film.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty long film.
It was long. I just don't like it when they just make movies.
Let's dig into it. What did you think of it?
It was like, I don't know, like, because the trailer itself, because all these kind of movies is horror mystery, like the trailer sells it to you a lot because you're like, how is he killing? How's he getting away with it? Yeah. So you have a high expectation of like, okay, it's going to be interesting, or is it intricate way of how he's murdering people and getting away with it? But the movie itself is quite slow paced, and like, because you said because in the movie he starts off looking like an alcoholic, and then he realised that. Because it looks like he's unemployed at work, but there is no work for him to do. Yeah. Then Rebecca Ferguson.
Norway is just too good a place for a policeman.
Exactly, yeah. Norway's not the best place, yeah. It's like a retirement place. Yeah, they can't complain. But he basically joins a case with Rebecca Ferguson, or I forgot her name in the movie, but she's doing a case, he jumps on, they start solving cases, and then the way the killer is killing people is that he either chops them up into jigsaw pieces, which is weird, or in the movie you see like a few headshots where they're decapitated, of course, and then he plants a snowman on their head. Yeah, and
which
vice
is why
versa.
The Snowman.
Yeah, snowman killer. Yeah.
It's a very odd serial killer, but I suppose every serial killer in films have to have
any cynical person,
personality.
Exactly.
So, what did you think were? So, I understand you didn't enjoy the film. I didn't think the film was a good film. I don't think Rotten Tomatoes agree either. They don't. They have, I think, 24% on their Rotten Tomato meter. So it tells you it's not a good film. Which is really disappointing coming from a good director, a good cast. Both of them are really, really good performers, like I was saying. But it is just the plot and the pacing and just the way the film is set with incredible amount of loopholes and wrong motivations that make this film just very lackluster and below average, I'd say. But if I'm to go into specifics, what would you say were the bad parts about the film?
The bad parts, I'm going to start from the end, because that was just really bad. The way the killer, the confrontation, like the end scene, they somehow end up on an icy river, or like on a lake, not a river. They're on a lake, and then like Michael Fassbender comes out of nowhere and he shouts, "Where are you? Let's finally do this!" Like a macho, like fist fight style. And then he gets shot randomly, like he's like out on the floor, like he's just getting hurt. He got shot.
I mean, it's no wonder. Right?
Yeah, and then like, cause they're on the lake, so you will see the killer coming out of nowhere. He gets shot. He's on the floor. They start talking about why I'm doing this or his cynical motives, and then there's a hole in the floor or in the water, and he just sinks, and it's the end. And I'm there like,
what just happened?
Yeah, like if you're a killer, you would see where you're walking straight. But I'm assuming they're following the book too much. And I think he accidentally fell into it, or something happened. But the way the movie shows it is like a landscape, like from this angle, and they're just looking at each other, and he doesn't see the surroundings, but he just falls into he just falls,
disappears.
Yeah, and then you see a screen of him like going like help me. But I'm just like, this seems really weird, and why is this how does
it just doesn't go with the rest of the film. If it was a murder mystery, you expect a proper confrontation with the final, like in the final third act, where things get resolved, etc. But this was pretty much an anticlimax, I would say.
Yeah.
And any other things you thought didn't work? How did you think the cinematography on the film was? Because this film is mostly set in a snowy area, and it's very difficult to portray good cinematography when it's just snow. Some good examples come to mind, like The Revenant, which was a good portrayal of how you actually do a snowy scene, snowy mountains, woods. The Grey, another comes to mind. I quite enjoyed that as well. It was the guy from Taken. I can't remember his name.
Liam Neeson?
Liam Neeson, yeah.
Of course.
But I suppose his personality carried that film. This one, however, despite Michael Fassbender having the chops, acting chops, just doesn't carry. And I think when you don't enjoy one part of the film, everything else you try
it just dominoes effects.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly what happened. There wasn't anything that stood out. In terms of performance, in terms of just direction, in terms of cinematography. It was a long film. It could have been edited out to make it a smaller, more tighter film. In every respect, I thought this film failed, very unfortunately.
Yeah, and one thing in particular, like the killer, because it's a crime movie, so you want to know who the killer is.
Yeah.
And then like when you find out who the killer is, it's just like,
who are you?
Who are you?
What are you doing?
Yeah, you see him a few times, but you're like, okay, he's just a random person. And when you see him, when they all connect the dots together, and it's just like, this is so anticlimactic. Like I don't enjoy this at all. Yeah. And like,
no, I agree. So if you were to give a rating, say, do you watch it? Do you not watch it? Or if you want to say it in a quick summary, what do you think of the film? What would you say?
From a crime perspective, like it was good, but like I wouldn't watch this movie again. Like it was just it's one of those movies that you see in the cinema and you're happy that you watched it. Like it's not boring, it's not great, but you're okay with it. But you wouldn't recommend it to people, but you're not dissatisfied from watching it.
I think that's the film buffs in us coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, we just enjoy watching
it's
films
just a movie,
anyway.
It's just 90 minutes
but
long.
It's not something you'd recommend. Neither would I.
No.
I thought it was a very slow and boring murder mystery. This could have been a straight-to-TV film. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, instead of a proper theatrical release, this film just looked as a straight-to-TV film.
Yeah. The only good thing I can say about it, because I've said quite a few negative things, like they had like two stories. They had the guy Harry, which is what Michael Fassbender was playing. They had him investigating, then he had Rebecca Ferguson investigating as well. So it's like a duo investigation, and they were both doing different things, because the reason why she's on the case is because her dad was murdered in the same way. So she's on it for personal reasons. So she's doing something else completely, exploring and stuff, or finding out stuff, while he's doing something else. Correct. So it was good seeing like two things happening at once. So there's two stories, so you can like keep on like, even though it wasn't great, there's two things happening, which is like just swapping over. Like,
it sort of builds attention and
it does.
Kind of interest in the audience. But anyway, I think that's enough about Snowman. This is not one film we'd actually recommend. If you do watch it, maybe you're a fan of Michael Fassbender or J.K. Simmons. You wouldn't believe we have J.K. Simmons, veteran actor, classiest actor in Hollywood.
He is.
I don't know what he's doing there.
He just takes pictures. That's all he does. That's all I'm going to say. If you watch the movie, you'll understand why. But all he does is take pictures.
Yeah. Anyway, so on to our next film. This is a much better take on how to do films. This is actually an animation film, but a very good one. This is called the Lego Ninja Go movie. If you have watched the previous two Lego films, the first one being the Lego movie, the second one the Lego Batman film, you know how good these films are in terms of bringing in both the audience in terms of the young ones, the children who actually are fans of Lego and Batman, and the adults as well, because within the entire comedy aspect and dramatic aspect of the film, there are hidden tidbits that adults would pick up on that children wouldn't. So these films are directed by veterans in the industry, in terms of animation industry. The Lego Ninja Go movie, for example, is directed by Charlie Bean, Bob Logan, Paul Fisher. I haven't come across them before, but just looking them up, they actually were in the process of making very old cartoon series like The Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack. So they definitely know what they're doing. And it shows. This film is, just a quick synopsis. The Lego Ninjago, well, this film really is, at its core, a massive commercial for the Lego Ninjago toy series.
Yeah.
And they already had previous short films before. They had a TV series, and this is a full-on take on a film. Hopefully they make some money out of it as well, which I'm pretty sure they will. So this film has Jackie Chan as someone called Wu, and he is the teacher of 6 ninjas who are all teenagers, and the teenage ninjas are trying to save their city and stave off attacks from a Lord Garmadon. I always forget the name. And Lord Garmadon is a typical evil character who's also got comedic elements to him. And this is the dynamic of how the ninjas play and fight with the Lord Garmadon, and how it allows the story to unfold. That makes this a very interesting film. Partly because Lord Garmadon is the father of one of the ninjas, and Jackie Chan Wu is the brother of Lord Garmadon. So it is a very interesting dynamic. It's a lot of like a typical teenage story around self-discovery, what I really am, what I should do in my life, along with a lot of funny family drama. So I make it sound very boring, because family drama, the word itself, can make it sound boring, but it is really funny. That one thing I would say about the film, it is funny, and it's got the same kind of humor that we were introduced to with the Lego film and the Lego Batman film, which is a very it's difficult to place what kind of humor that is, but it is a bit of a slapstick. It's a mix of like fart jokes and all those things combined, but it's not done in a very corny way. It is smarter than most. It's got a lot of pop culture references as well. So it's interesting kind of humor, and something everyone can get into. So just delving into the film. Things I thought did very well. Did you watch the other 2 Lego films?
I've only seen the Batman one, so I can't. I think the first one was the best one apparently, but I've only seen the Batman one.
Yeah, the first one I would say is definitely the best. Okay. In that respect, I would say this one doesn't hold up to the first film. Okay. But I would say this is almost as good as the Batman film. But I would say the Batman is slightly better. The reason I don't think this film works as well as the others, firstly, is because there is a bit of a repetition of theme from the first 2, especially the first one, where the movie related back to real life in the 3rd act very, very smartly. Yeah. But this one also has some real life elements to it. So in the beginning, you see a small, actual real life child walk into a Chinese gift shop run by Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan just tells him a story with some Lego figures, and with the kids prodding, Jackie Chan goes into expands on the story, and that's where you see it cutting out into a animation Lego universe. Okay. So it's almost a narration of Jackie Chan to the boy, but in that respect, it's got a mix of real life and cartoon elements to it, which I think works well. But again, I would say it's becoming a bit tried in nature. So I hope they come up with more innovations. So that's the first point. The second reason why I don't think the film works as well as the first 2 is because the film, I thought, is very rushed in editing. So if I look at the individual sequences in the film in isolation, I would say this film, each of the sequences are really funny, in a self-contained manner. They work really well. It's very well directed. The action sequences are amazing. And any child going into this film would absolutely enjoy it. But all I'm saying is it's not as enjoyable for an adult going into the film anymore. But yeah, there are like explosions happening, and the water effects are amazing. So everything looks really cool. The visuals are top-notch. But I thought the visuals worked almost as a trailer better than in a film that is threaded together by plot line, character developments. So I thought the character developments were very cliched. It's the same. So the way it works is the ninja, whose father is the evil Lord Garmadon, is hated throughout the city because everyone knows his dad is evil, but no one knows he's also the ninja. So the ninjas are all got their masks. No one knows who the ninjas are. They always come to save the city whenever Lord Garmadon attacks. So there's an interesting dynamic there of how Lloyd, the main character's name, develops from a child who's always angry with his father because of his father. He never gets the recognition in real life, but also he wants to have a better relation with his father all the time, and all of this together makes it a very interesting dynamic. So that's why I say the character development is there, but it's not fleshed out as well. It's very difficult to explain the character development without you actually having watched it. If you see it, you'll see that it almost seems a bit too rushed sometimes. So that's what I thought was something that didn't quite work. And in terms of the things I did enjoy in the film, I thought the songs were really cool. I just love the Lego Movie songs.
Were they all quite cheesy, or?
They're very cheesy. They're super cheesy. In fact, the song of the first film, which still is in my head and it just won't go away, it goes as "Everything is awesome." That's the main tagline of that song. There is no such tagline in the songs here, but the songs are still just funny to just hear because they've got really funny lyrics. And I can see adults just chuckling to them as an afterthought because they've got pop culture references in them as well. The other thing I thought worked, like I mentioned, the visuals. But the one thing that really drew me to the film was the voice acting, and particularly of Justin Theroux, who did Lord Garmadon, and Dave Franco, who did Lloyd, the main ninja. So before I got into the film, I really enjoy watching Jackie Chan films. I thought I'm going to watch it just because of Jackie Chan. But Jackie Chan was a second fiddle to other characters, and probably rightly so, because he wasn't the main character. He was just a teacher of the main characters. But the main character, Dave Franco and Justin Theroux, just pulled off such an extraordinary work in their voice acting, particularly Justin Theroux. Dave Franco, I thought it was okay actually. I probably giving him more credit than I should, because Justin Theroux steals the show. His Lord Garmadon depiction convinces me that he has a career ahead of him in voice acting, and I hope he takes it.
What kind of voice did he do? Because
he's an evil guy, but he's also got lots of comedic elements to it.
Oh, okay.
So he has to be evil, but also like fail at doing evil, and it's just such a good.
I'm trying to grasp how, because I haven't seen the movie. I'm trying to grasp how his voice.
Yeah, but it's not the kind of evil funny that the Joker is in Batman, for example. Batman's Joker. What's the guy's name? Luke Skywalker. Who plays Luke Skywalker? I can't remember his name for the love of me.
I forgot what you mean.
Never mind. You know the guy. He also plays the Joker. He also voices the Joker in the Batman animated series. But his character there is evil as well as like a fun take on evil. But this one is actual childish fun evil. So it is a difficult thing to pull, I think, sometimes off. But I think he did it really well. So I hope he gets recognized for it and gets pulled into more voice acting roles because of that. Because he was better than any of his films I've watched. Like he was in The Girl in the Train, Justin Theroux. I thought he was a bit forgettable there, partly probably because he just didn't have a big role there. But this one, I'll remember Lord Garmadon for a while. But I think that's it for the Lego Ninjago film. You haven't watched it. No. I think you really
I'll
should.
probably give it a go, because you said it's got pop culture reference, so like that usually grasps the modern people to kind of.
And that is a fun bit for adults. If you have like a young cousin, like a small cousin, just take him, or a brother, take him, and I'm sure they'll enjoy, and you'll enjoy it as well. But yeah, I thought Ninjago film is fun to rate it. I'd say definitely watch, but with a bit of qualification in that it's not as good as the other two Lego films if you watch them. So maybe a 7.5 out of 10.
That's quite high, so okay.
I would have loved to give it a 9, but 7.5. I'd say the first film was definitely a 9.
Yeah.
The second Batman was like 8 or maybe 7.5 as well, and this is 7.5 for me.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that wraps up for the reviews. We'll quickly go into what's coming up next in the film universe, and obviously we've got 2 massive trailers being released in the last 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The first of which is the Justice League trailer.
Yeah.
The Justice League number 4 trailer, if I'm being specific. You've watched it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What did you think of it?
Showed more action and unison with the characters, which is what I'm enjoying.
More
like
action, what, sorry?
Unison, like more of the actors like getting involved.
Oh,
But before it was
together.
just like all the trailers was like Aquaman in the water, Wonder Woman, but now you see them together, and there's a bit of humor with the Flash as well, which is like okay, you can kind of see how they are. Because before it was just division, now it's like okay, I can see the mingling and teamwork because you see the Flash like I think that's in the trailer 3 when he flicks the Wonder Woman sword to her in slow motion. A little. So it's like those niche fight. You know, the fight season would be pretty cool with the Flash of doing stuff like that, like minor stuff.
What did you think of Superman being revealed as there in the film?
Oh, I think that was kind of because have you seen Batman vs Superman? Like you knew that he wasn't basically gone, so like you knew he was coming back. But that was like I expected that, to be honest, because from the hint from that season. But they kind of need Batman, not Batman. They need Superman to kind of because he's not invincible, but like for fighting a war.
Yeah, you bring up terrible memories when you mention Batman versus Superman.
Because
so many.
Yeah, let's not get there.
Let's not go in there. But I just thought they shouldn't have spoiled that Superman lives at the end of the film.
Yeah.
But it's what Zack Snyder does. He doesn't do much, does he? But I could definitely see the change in the color palette, if not anything else, in this film. Zack Snyder has left the film. So he directed all the scenes, and now during editing he had some personal tragedy for which he had to leave. And Josh Whedon, the director for The Avengers.
Okay.
So he's a pretty good director. So he came up and took the helm of the film, and immediately in the trailer you can see the change. So there are some videos comparing like-for-like scenes between the earlier trailer and this trailer, and you can see the color palette changing from the dark grey, greenish grey that Snyder loves,
that dark, it's really weird,
to a more colorful palette, which I think is definitely the right direction. DC Universe is
it's a dark universe,
dead on track when it like dead on arrival when it started. But I mean, some of the cast is pretty good. I thought Henry Cavill was okay. I thought Ben Affleck was amazing as Batman. I thought he was a very, very good cast. I thought I can't remember the actor's name who plays Alfred. I thought he was very well cast. I thought Gal Gadot was a terrible cast. I thought she was absolutely terrible. She can't act. She looks the part, but that means nothing to me if you can't really act. The Wonder Woman film only worked because of Patty Jenkins, who directed it. She's such a class director that she could overcome the main actress's lack of acting abilities. But that's
another
a different
story.
case. But yeah, I don't have high expectations of the film, but we'll see how it goes. That's all I can say, really. I thought the action sequences in the trailer looked terrible. They absolutely look terrible to me. They look overdone. They look over-engineered. Like too much CGI. You can tell they're doing it in a CGI environment. They've got like harnesses pulling them up when they need to jump. It just looks so unrealistic to me. But we each to our opinion, I suppose. We can't really say anything until we see what the actual final product is like. But the other big film coming out is the Star Wars.
Yes.
The second, well, the 8th actually. The second in the new franchise. What did you think of that?
I enjoyed it, like, because it showed so much more happening, and like, I think the one thing that stood out in the end was when she talks to Kylo Ren.
Rey talks to Kylo Ren.
Yeah. And then she's questioning her life, or like, because it looks like, you know, what path to us, or what side do I follow, and like
it looks like she might go to the dark side.
Because if it's leading that way, I want her to, because it's something they've never done. Because they've repeated so many things, the franchise. That's how it's kind of worked if you look at other movies, and if they do that, that'll be quite interesting, because justice always prevails. But if she does the dark side, then I'm like, okay, I may give the movie, the 9th movie, a go.
Something different for the Star Wars universe. I thought it was an interesting trailer. I thought it was, I mean, I could tell there is so much polish in there, and I'm sure it'll be a super entertaining film. But I also worry that it'll stick too closely to The Empire Strikes Back.
Because
we saw that happen with the Phantom. I keep forgetting the name of the 7th film, but the first in this new franchise. I thought it was. I mean, everyone knows it was the plot lines very, very closely stuck to the first film of the 1978, 77 films. And I just wonder if they'll stick again very close to the plot of The Empire Strikes Back. And I don't want to see that. I don't want another lazy plot line. I want something different, something new. Because this is a very, very old franchise, and there's just so much to do with this. But yeah, I just hope that's what it'll be. I think the characters look pretty cool. And
they showed her using the Force as well, which is interesting. So that's like good development.
Pretty strongly. Even Luke Skywalker becoming like surprised.
It's gone too fast.
Pretty strong. But yeah, I'm just happy that Luke Skywalker is back. For the love of me, I can't remember the guy's name. He's such a favorite. I'm such a fan of him, especially his voice acting. But I suppose that's how memories work. You just can't remember it when you really need to. But yeah, I mean, those films are really definitely ones to watch out for. But we've also got Thor Ragnarok coming out.
That's the end of this month, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a few other big films coming out, and hopefully they won't disappoint. This whole year has been a bit of a disappointment for me. Okay. I only enjoyed a very few films, especially of the main summer blockbuster. They were very disappointing. The only films I enjoyed, I remember, are It. I quite enjoyed It.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought It was a really good film, and that was a good one to watch. What else did I enjoy? To be honest, I can't even remember now. This year has been pretty disappointing for me.
I beg to differ, because I've seen quite a few good movies. Like what? John Wick 2 did come out this year.
John Wick 2, yeah.
I was like, hold on, you're missing out that movie.
No, we did a segment in one of our previous episodes of the best films and the worst films 2017 up to summer, and we definitely mentioned John Wick 2.
Mother as well.
Oh yeah, Mother.
With Javier Bardem and Jennifer Lawrence. Like, it's a really dark movie. It's something I did not expect.
I actually wouldn't say I enjoyed the film. I thought it was an interesting film.
It was interesting. The concept was interesting.
Darren Aronofsky is a very intriguing director. He's got one of my all-time favorites, The Fountain. I just love that film. So he's always an interesting director, and it's interesting to see a different take on how you do a film. That's why I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was a good film overall. It
was quite slow, because the entire movie happened in one house, and she never left the house. She seemed,
it's a very controversial film in terms of people's
emotions
and dynamics, all those kind of things. But what else did we have? I think this year has been very disappointing. I in general didn't enjoy a lot of the films that were supposed to be good. Didn't impress, like The Dark Tower, for example.
I haven't seen that one. That's the one with Idris Elba, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was so disappointing.
With the guns.
The gunslinger.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read those books, Stephen King books.
Okay.
Really, really famous books, which has just fantastic content. Really, really good content, but they
didn't deliver.
Yeah, butchered it. I thought it wasn't even good for a made-to-TV film. That film was just so crap.
Okay.
But anyway, I think we should wrap our show. This has been a long chat. Hope you enjoyed the discussions. I would say, as a quick summary, don't watch The Snowman. Do watch the Lego Ninjago film. It's a good film. And definitely watch out for Justice League, the Star Wars films, Thor Ragnarok, and all the other big comic book films that's coming out these days. And with that, we say goodbye. Hope to see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Thank you.